Hello guys, welcome to episode 84 of our F1 Manager Save. Now, if you watched the last episode, we took a lot of engine penalties. It wasn't our day, it was a very good day for Red Bull. Mick Schumacher with a great recovery drive, Lando Norris hampered by our strategy a little bit, but Verstappen and Leclerc getting significant points for Red Bull, which meant that they pulled out a decent gap in the constructors' standings. Driver standings wise, Lando Norris still has a healthy gap at the front of the driver's standings. Max Verstappen now his closest challenger. I've got to say Max Verstappen has looked very, very good in the last few episodes. Charles Leclerc down in P3 and Schumacher is in P5. But today we go to Zandvoort, and what better way to end Max Verstappen's imperious form by winning at his home Grand Prix. 72 laps round here. If we have a look at the car attributes, acceleration and some medium high-speed cornering as well. Expected strategy is a one-stop from medium onto hard. A two-stop is available, but one thing that must be noted is we have just had an upgrade come through, and that upgrade is the rear wing, and the rear wing has greatly improved our car in terms of acceleration and the high-speed cornering. Very good for this weekend indeed. So I'm going to get through all the practice sessions and I'll see you in qualifying for a very, very important Dutch Grand Prix.
Welcome back to what is proving to be an exciting weekend of Formula One action, with practice having finished and qualifying set to follow. There are no more chances to practice this weekend. It gets serious from now on in, as our teams prepare to record their best lap times ahead of tomorrow's race. One good lap isn't enough to guarantee a strong position, with consistency absolutely essential for those looking to succeed. Stay with us as we see who can deliver on motorsport's biggest stage.
Very disappointing qualifying for Mick Schumacher. I was convinced we were going to get both cars through to Q3. He went out on another run on a fresh set of soft tyres, but couldn't do it. Very disappointing for Mick Schumacher, especially when you look at where Lando Norris is. Important though, we said in the last episode Red Bull are going to have to take engine penalties. Max Verstappen has a grid penalty for this weekend. Let's get to Q3. End of Q3, final flying lap. Lando Norris absolutely flying through the first sector, went purple. Dodgy middle sector as he comes round this final long right-hander down the banking. Can Lando Norris get pole position here at the Dutch Grand Prix? Leclerc's crossed the line. Lando Norris crosses the line and takes pole position by a tenth from Charles Leclerc, but Max Verstappen was still on a lap, didn't improve enough. Lando Norris will be on pole for the Dutch Grand Prix, and I must admit I really want to win this one. Really want to win this one. We are at the risk of sounding like Kevin Keegan. I would love it if we beat him here. And Lando Norris P1, Mick Schumacher P11. We may have to have a look at strategies, but as we go into this weekend, I'm very optimistic. Let's get to the strategies. Right then, there's going to be nothing too clever about the strategy this weekend. We tried that last weekend. Both guys starting on the medium. We think that's the optimal strategy. The two-stop could be done, but I reckon that for sake of a couple of seconds, I'd rather stick with that. Both cars, we're going to underfuel them slightly. We're going to tell Lando Norris to deploy off the start and try and break the DRS of Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen obviously had that grid penalty. Mick Schumacher's up to P8. Hopefully he can get a few cars early doors, but that's the idea. P1, P8, Lando to run away. Let's see if it works out. 5 red lights coming right up.
The drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we are looking at Lando Norris. We've got Charles Leclerc on the inside line. He's going to have the better run into turn 1, and to be fair to Charles Leclerc, he's done very, very well indeed. The idea of Lando Norris to break the DRS of Charles Leclerc has not quite paid dividends. Charles Leclerc, he's away into P1. Mick Schumacher holding in P8. He's done very well there. But Charles Leclerc, very, very impressive from him early doors. We are going to tell Lando Norris now to just sit in then. We do reckon we've got the pace on Perez with Lando Norris. If we have a look at Mick Schumacher, he's battling Guan Yu Zhou. And then once he gets past Guan Yu Zhou, he's got the small task of attacking Max Verstappen at his home Grand Prix. It's been an impressive start from Mick Schumacher. who we are now going to ride on board with, but Max Verstappen straight away up into P4. Great work from him. Mick Schumacher having a look down this inside here. Can he possibly use a bit of overtake and get one or two cars? Meanwhile, Lando Norris is looking at Charles Leclerc and seeing if he can get it in, but we're going to ride on board with Mick Schumacher as we come around the final corner, this long sweeping right-hander down the banking. Schumacher having a look, can't quite make the move on him at all. So as we end lap 1, Charles Leclerc is leading from Lando Norris. Perez is in 3rd, Verstappen in 4th. He only took a 5-place grid penalty. Gasly in P5, Schumacher 6th. It's the Lotus Renault duo of Zhou and Ocon in P7 and 8. Ricciardo P9, Vettel P10. One thing that will be quite interesting is having a look at the car conditions of our competitors. So Verstappen, he has got a new gearbox in, but he has got a 58% engine. Charles Leclerc 84% engine, and his gearbox is a little bit warm, where our guys are running on some very decent engines indeed. So Leclerc is there to be shot at. Lap 2. Lap 15, Lando Norris is just sat in behind Charles Leclerc at this moment. We've recovered a bit of his fuel, but Charles Leclerc is looking mighty quick in that Red Bull. Perez is still hanging on in P3, Verstappen in P4. The gap between Gasly and Schumacher, the gap to these guys is nearly 5 seconds, so it's very much a race between 4 cars for the win. Mick Schumacher is battling to be best of the rest at this moment in time, Mick Schumacher, and he's going to have to charge a bit of his battery up as well, so that's something else to bear in mind. Lando Norris, there's not too much to say at this moment in time. We're just keeping an eye on things, ticking along. Leclerc's still leading. Verstappen's having a bloody good day, which is very frustrating for us. We'll have a little look at Schumacher's overtake on Gasly, because we've not had much action, to be fair, early doors. Schumacher getting down the inside of Gasly into turn 1. It's great work from him and gets the job done before the next straight. I can't really say too much more than that. Vettel's still in P10 in the Haas. He's doing very, very well. We need to have a look at the back, really, because Carlos Sainz is in the Aston Martin at the back of the grid at this moment in time. And he's in between Latifi, Sargent and Tsunoda. So the Aston Martin's reverting back to season 1. Stroll in the Nissan in P16. George Russell, the 2 Mercedes, not having a good day at all on the soft compound tyres. It's just, we've got to get this pit stop right now with Lando Norris. That's the plan, lap 16. There's 2 battles going on circuit at the moment. One is this one, which is the battle for the lead between Norris and Leclerc. Verstappen lurking in the background, just seems to be measuring his tyres beautifully, to be fair. I'm still particularly concerned about Max Verstappen at this moment. Norris is still now leading the Grand Prix. Mick Schumacher and Gasly is the other battle on circuit. He's battling a lot with Pierre Gasly. We like Pierre Gasly, as we know, but we're just trying to save a bit of fuel, save a bit of battery for Mick Schumacher, and we're thinking about trying an undercut with Mick if we possibly can at this moment in time. Lap 21. Yellow flag, and it is Max Verstappen who's crashed. This could be absolutely pivotal. He's done it at his own Grand Prix. Let's have a little look here. Spins out, damages his rear wing. Now, he's going to have to come in for a pit stop. He obviously can't repair his rear wing. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see how Max Verstappen drops off here now. The gap to Mick Schumacher is 7 seconds, but we're starting to see now the soft compound tyre people coming in. We're going to make sure that we pit Norris into clean air. Verstappen now doesn't seem a threat, and Mick Schumacher should be gaining at a rate of knots, I would presume. And we can see straight away the gap between Schumacher and Verstappen is tumbling down to 6.7 seconds. Verstappen is going to struggle with no rear wing. Lap 28. Right, this could be quite a significant moment in this Grand Prix. Lando Norris has been told to pit. Reason being, we reckon the gap on the pit stops is about 28 seconds. If we can get out in front of Russell,
Copy.
I reckon we can try and undercut here, get these hard tyres on, burn them off, and then we're going to use all the ERS to try and undercut Leclerc and break the DRS. Perez is coming out with us, Gasly's in as well. Mick Schumacher's going to be in the next lap, but the pressure now is all on Lando Norris. We're keeping a strong eye on where Lance Stroll is. He's quite a distance behind. I think we're going to get out here with Lando Norris. We certainly are. We've got some nice clean air. ERS usage, hopefully we can put a bit of distance between ourselves and Sergio Perez, and then we're expecting a few cars in next lap. One of those cars will be Mick Schumacher. He's going to be doing the same. He's coming in for the hard compound tyre, but now it's all on Lando Norris on this outlap. If he can use these tyres and really undercut Charles Leclerc, we'll come back. So this is it then. Huge moment. Charles Leclerc coming out of the pit lane, and all eyes are on Lando Norris. Did the undercut work? Ricciardo's in, Schumacher's in, Leclerc's coming out of the pit lane. We can see Lando Norris down the left-hand side here. Lando Norris coming round. Is Charles Leclerc going to be behind him? He certainly is. Lando Norris has jumped Charles Leclerc, and now has he put a second between himself and the Red Bull? He certainly has. What he needs to ensure is that he gets past Esteban Ocon as quickly and efficiently as he possibly can. Verstappen is still out on circuit. What we don't need to happen is Max Verstappen to hold up Lando Norris. Mick Schumacher has filtered out in P8. He's filtered out behind Kevin Magnussen. He's in quite a little battle, to be fair, to Mick Schumacher. That's not been the best pit stop for him, but he's trying his best to make light work of these two cars early doors here. And Mick Schumacher, to be fair, it's great work from him. What I am concerned about is Lando Norris. He's struggling to get past Max Verstappen and Esteban Ocon, but he's managing sort of to get past. He isn't. And Max Verstappen has played the ultimate team game and managed to get Charles Leclerc back in the DRS of Lando Norris. That is so disappointing, and Max Verstappen still causing problems, and has caused that many problems that Charles Leclerc, it's a fight all the way down the back straight, and Lando Norris is having to cover off Charles Leclerc. We have got to be very disappointed with that, because now Charles Leclerc is back in the lead, and Max Verstappen has played the ultimate team game. Lando Norris just about holding on to this P1 here. They are side by side. Mick Schumacher up into P6 now, but Lando Norris can't quite get this move done. Leclerc still has the inside line as they're going side by side all the way around the track here, and Leclerc finally looks like he's got the job done. He has got the job done, Charles Leclerc. We'll pull back to Mick Schumacher now, who's managed to jump Gasly with that. Gasly's now in P8, where Mick Schumacher in P6. But if we have a look at it, has Kevin Magnussen got to stop again? He hasn't. Kevin Magnussen got a significant undercut as well, but Magnussen's tyres will die off towards the end of this Grand Prix. Lap 33. My word, there's a lot happening. Lap 37, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Lando Norris, and then Charles Leclerc straight away gets the position back. It's a three-way battle for this win, it really is. The impressive thing for us is Max Verstappen, with that broken rear wing, has tumbled down the order. Verstappen won't be scoring any points today, but at the moment, both Ferraris will. Mick Schumacher, 1.7 seconds. He's managed to get past Kevin Magnussen. Guan Yu Zhou pit extremely early. He's now 1.7 seconds the gap from Schumacher to Zhou. If Schumacher could catch up with him, which I have the full belief that he can, then we could be on for a P4 for Mick Schumacher. What a difference a weekend makes. As opposed to last weekend at Spa, it's now Red Bull who's probably got their heads in the hands on the pit wall.
We have another yellow flag.
Mick Schumacher can get in the bin. He's no need to do what he's just done. He's locked up into turn 10. And he's lost so many positions, it's untrue. He's still in the top 10 somehow. But when we could maximise the points over Red Bull today, he goes and does that. It's an absolute shambles. He may recover to P7, but that is just shambolic from Mick Schumacher. Lando Norris complaining of tyre temperatures as well. He's currently on light tyre saving mode, Lando Norris. Just biding his time for when we can possibly get Charles Leclerc. But I'm hoping we can get him pretty quickly, because it always worries me when we're coming up to bike markers, as we are in a second. We can see the Williams. I'm guessing that's Logan Sargent. I don't like it when we're coming up to these, because we tend to not be very lucky in these situations. Let's have a look to see what happens here. He's got Logan Sargent in front of him. What we may even do here is just push a little bit on the fuel. If he doesn't get DRS here, this may put us in a more favourable position. Let's have a look. The Red Bull hasn't got DRS. We have. And all the way down this start-finish straight, Lando Norris closing. Can't quite get in to Charles Leclerc there. Again, down this straight. I think by the next DRS zone, the Williams of Logan Sargent may have a role to play in this. As the Red Bull and this little gaggle of cars at the front, this trio vying for the win, catch up with him. Lap 54. Lap 59, Mick Schumacher's just got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're still not very impressed with him, but he has caught up to this little gaggle of cars. And he can actually see Ocon in front of him and Gasly, so fair play to him. Meanwhile, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc still battling it out to the front. Don't write Sergio Perez off. We have managed to overtake a couple of times and store up a bit of battery, as you can see on the bottom left. I think that's what we're looking at towards the end of this Grand Prix. But Mick Schumacher now, he's back in contention with these guys. I'm just going to tell him to just harvest a little bit of ERS for a little while, and then we're going to have a big push towards the end with both cars. Lap 60. I actually think this is probably one of the more intense races that I've done as team principal. Mick Schumacher is battling back. He's just managed to overtake Pierre Gasly. He's back up to P8 now. It's great work from him. He's recovered. I can't be too upset with him. He's got Ocon. If he could get Ocon, I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. Meanwhile, at the front, Lando Norris is attacking the Charles Leclerc still. But what I'm more interested in, again, is we've got cars in front of Charles Leclerc. I would rather be in front of Charles Leclerc when we get to those cars. So Lando Norris is going to now be told to use the overtake and try and get past Charles Leclerc. Lap 69. 70, we didn't get a replay of it, but as we approach the back marker, for once, Charles Leclerc got the worst bits of it. Red Bull got the bad luck, and Lando Norris managed to swoop past. We are struggling for ERS with Lando Norris, but we've got a 1.7 second gap to Charles Leclerc, which I'm hoping is going to be enough to ensure that we can win at this Grand Prix. We've got 2 racing laps left. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher is battling away with Esteban Ocon and Danny Ricciardo. Can Mick Schumacher possibly get another couple of positions? It's all happening at both sides here, but Lando Norris with 2 laps to go is in front. We'll come back for the last lap. Last lap of the Grand Prix. Lando Norris is through turn 1 and he's got a 1.3 second gap to Charles Leclerc. He's pushing on the fuel. I think he's got just enough battery left. It's all eyes on Mick Schumacher, and can Mick Schumacher somehow on this last lap manage to get a move done and get up into P7 or P6? There's a real gaggle of cars here. Max Verstappen causing absolute mayhem, and Max Verstappen again has cost us valuable time. And to be fair, was that premeditated from Max? We don't know, but that has put Mick Schumacher very much out of contention for P7 here. It's absolutely killed his chances of that. We're very upset with Max Verstappen there. 31 seconds, he's been a crash in sector 1. Somebody running wide. We're not going to get the information on who that is, but we are going to get the information that Lando Norris, he's done a fantastic job today as he comes round the final corner. It was all Red Bull in Spa, but in Zandvoort it's going to be Ferrari. Lando Norris wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc in P2. Mick Schumacher could have done more. To the end, P8, it's still points for us, but we are a little bit disappointed with Mick today. That one mistake has really cost him, but Lando Norris got a bit of luck with a back marker, but it was a fantastic job from him. And to get back to winning ways after a very difficult Spa, let's get to the podium celebrations.
Lando Norris can be proud. What a fantastic performance from him. What a beautiful sight that is on the podium, and a true crowning achievement for everyone involved. And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
And it's got to be said, I think that was a very, very impressive performance from Lando Norris. He obviously lost the lead off the start. He actually got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. So Lando Norris winning the Dutch Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc P2 doing very well for Red Bull. The McLarens are so consistent. Perez and Ricciardo. Guan Yu Zhou in P4. Esteban Ocon in P5, the Alpine, the Lotus Renault, formerly Alpine, doing very well again. Magnussen in P7, Schumacher P8. I think possibly P5 where Mick Schumacher should have been today. Gasly P9, Albon P10. Max Verstappen all the way down in last place. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen drops to P3. Charles Leclerc now is back in P2, but the gap is back up to 71 points to Lando Norris. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull gained 18, but we gained 31. We are now 28 points behind. It's going to be a real fight towards the end of the season. There's going to be more engine penalties as well. probably more so for Red Bull than us, so bear that in mind. And just a quick one, Mick Schumacher in P5 still after what could be said it was a disappointing weekend. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope your weekend's not disappointing. Please have a good one, and we'll see you next week for the continuation of our Ferrari save.